So when you make a thesis statement like this, you are setting yourself up for success because that's an expression that we use to set oneself up for success. You are preparing, like in the beginning of your talk, in the beginning of your writing, you're you're creating a frame if we're like thinking about it as if we were making a big picture, right?
Yeah.
Or you're making a foundation as if we were going to build a structure like a house or something like that, right? In order to build up the argument, think of an argument as a piece of furniture. You need to have sturdy legs for the furniture to stand and not fall over, right? Those legs are the examples and reasons and explanations. And so in your opening statement, when you say what your position is, and then you are also introduce the areas that you could talk about, then you've given yourself the freedom to move around to different areas of the argument, the speech, and the listener kind of understands and is interested in knowing where you're going as you continue. Um, so I'm a very strong proponent of being as detailed and clear in your first sentence. So these are good examples of strong thesis statements or introductory sentences. What we want to try to do is I'm going to give you a thesis statement, an opening sentence, and then I'd like for you to try and continue that talking in that I want you to try and like using that thesis statement as your starting point. Try to uh, um, like develop the argument with 2 or 3 more sentences. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Schools can improve teaching children to think more critically and creatively. Which option here is the which one of these options, A to I, is the way to conclude that sentence?
Choice B.
Yeah, B. Can you read that?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. By incorporating interactive and inquiry-based learning methods, encouraging open and discussion and debate,
Uh-huh.
providing opportunities for problem solving and decision making, fostering a supportive and inclusive classroom environment, and integrating art, music, and other creative outlets into the curriculum.
Curriculum.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is meant by inquiry-based learning methods?
Inquiry-based learning.
Do you know what inquiry means?
No, I can
Okay.
check.
Inquiry means to inquire or to ask a question. So inquiry-based learning methods are, um, you know, generally speaking, like the um, public education method of teaching is fill the classroom up with as many students as possible, and then have the teacher read a PPT to them
Ah,
and have them read the book and have them like answer the question, right? Whereas
yeah,
an inquiry-based learning approach would be more like the teacher asks a question
yeah.
and then allows the students to think for themselves and try and teach each other.
Ah,
Um, oh, so then we have you can see how that would enable creative thinking here, encouraging open-ended discussions and debates. Here we have providing opportunities for problem solving and decision making. What do you think that means?
that mean that can improve the student problem solving skill.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Giving the students opportunities to solve problems.
yeah,
So one of the reasons why maybe classes like PE, gym, and mathematics and art to some extent more liked by students is because you're giving the student control, or the student is given control over their decisions. You give a student an art project to work on, or a computer program to work with, or a game to play. And all of the control of the decision making is given to the student, as opposed to the teacher reads the PPT and the student has to give the teacher and the book all of the attention, right?
Yeah.
Nina, how do you think schools can improve teaching children to think more creatively and critically? What can schools do to help children to be better at creative thinking and critical thinking?
Yeah, the school maybe can inquiry-based learning method.
Okay.
And
They can incorporate inquiry-based learning methods into their curriculum or into their teaching approaches, right?
yeah,
Okay.
and encourage the open and discussion and debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also can providing the opportunities for problem solving and the conflict resolution. Yeah,
Conflict resolution.
yeah,
Okay. Now tell me what you mean by each of those solutions. What do you mean
yeah.
by that? So what do you
Maybe
mean by that?
maybe uh maybe is that will be the two students have the argument. Yeah,
Okay, so you're talking about conflict. So let's take the problem of conflict resolution.
yeah.
Okay, conflict resolution is when
Um,
you have two students having an argument. How can schools teach students how to uh, resolve conflicts? Teach how can schools and teachers teach students to manage conflicts differently?
maybe if they have a argument,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, they at the first time they will mad each other, but when they calm down
Mm.
and think about the problem between themselves and find the reason,
Mhm.
yeah, maybe they can have a conflict resolution. Yeah.
All right. The differences between the ways people communicate now and in the past include.
The difference between the ways people communicate now in past include um maybe find app, choose the app.
Yeah, digital platforms.
Yeah, the prevalence of digital platforms, instant messaging messages, and
Mhm.
global connectivity compared to traditional methods such as letters and face-to-face interactions.
Good, okay. We talked about that one last week. But very quickly, very briefly in your own words, define what you mean by digital platforms, instant messaging, and global connectivity.
Uh,
No, digital platforms,
Platforms, maybe uh, the app.
apps. Well, we're using one right now, okay? So instant messaging is chat, WeChat, and email and SMS messaging. But a digital platform is kind of like a virtual space where people gather for the purposes of networking and socializing and conducting business. So Zoom and DingTalk and WeChat are more than just instant messaging. They're platforms where people can share documents, video, uh, communicate face to face in like privately or in groups. Um, You can have entire teams and departments all taking directions from the management, and you can have companies, connected um, across the country with workers in all parts of the country or all parts of the world through a digital platform, right? It's
Yeah.
more than just messaging. It's a way of organizing people to work together. And global connectivity, mobile networks, the cellular network, the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have in the last 30 years uh, really put a high priority on improving uh, global digital connectivity for people to uh, communicate more. Why is that so important?
Mm,
Why is it so important that we have better communication systems and digital platforms?
because we can check each other immediately, even though we in the different area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We
And
want to be able to cut down on wasted time on travel and arranging meetings where all people have to be at the same place at the same time. We want to give consumers more choices, so it eliminates a lot of waste of time, waste of resources. When we can, because it just so happens to be that digital communication is very inexpensive.
yeah,
A telephone call in 1980 between you and I would have cost maybe 20 or $30. Now it's nothing. It's
yeah,
absolutely free, right?
yeah,
So yeah, it's an amazing technological breakthrough that has made sharing information um, almost almost free, which is just giving people opportunities to express themselves and pursue their interests and develop their businesses and their skills and create more opportunities for themselves. Okay, here we have the next one. The advantages, number 14.
yeah. The advantage of online learning include flexibility, accessibility, a wide range of course options, and the ability to learn at one's own pace
Mhm.
online. Uh,
The advantages.
the advantage, yeah. Mm, this,
Down here, the disadvantages.
ah, yeah,
What are the advantages and disadvantages of online learning?
yeah, the three disadvantage. While the
Flexibility, accessibility, a range of course options, and the ability to learn at one's own pace, right? Try to say this in your own words. In your own words, what are the advantages of online learning?
the online learning is um more convenience
Yeah, okay. More convenience for the student because,
because they could stay in home and to study. They don't need to go to the school. Yeah, and
okay, and they can have more classes.
yeah,
When you have students having to go to a center, there's limited space. And for that reason, they have to try and gather the groups to be available for the space at one time, which can be difficult, right? That's why
yeah,
you often have like, uh,
maybe that's it far away.
yeah, the travel. Yeah, exactly. Now, with online classes, um, again, the number of students that can be taught is uh, there's no upper limit really. You can hire as many tutors as you need for the classes. So the class can be, you know, as big as you want it to be, as many students as you can get. You're not limited by the space that you have in the building, and the students have the convenience of um, attending more classes, and it also reduces costs. So that's how we kind of develop that answer from just a few words to um, a fully developed answer, right?
Yeah.
So convenience and flexibility and accessibility.
Yeah.
But the disadvantages down here, the disadvantages.
Yeah.
So
The
explain the oh, sorry, I didn't have the share. Explain the disadvantages in your own words.
yeah. Maybe that it depend on students self
Motivation,
self
self-discipline,
yeah self uh how to say manage
self-management, management.
yeah, yeah management, yeah. And um if yeah, that is depends student self management. And if the student free how can I speak?
So
Mm,
let's go back to our thesis statement. There are online learning offers many advantages in terms of convenience, flexibility, accessibility, and providing a wider range of course options, choices of course options to students. It also lowers costs for the course providers and increases their market potential. On the other hand, there are some disadvantages. One of the disadvantages are it's difficult for a set of students who don't have good self-management.
yeah.
Now, can you back that up with an example? What kind of student lacks self-management?
Mm, what kind of student have
So we could say something like, during the 2019-2020 global pandemic shutdown of everything, you had all schools closed and forced to take lessons at home. And this, in fact, resulted in uh, the vast majority of young students and university students, students of all ages, missing out substantially on um, time with their teachers, understanding the work that they're supposed to do. The teachers weren't actually well trained enough, and the systems were not developed to to achieve the learning targets. So for a lot of parents, given the mm, given the choice to continue to enroll their children in online courses, parents don't want to do that, right?
yeah,
Although it's cheaper and offers a lot more choice, most parents don't want online learning for their kids.
yeah,
And it's because they lack the self-management. And then you also have the issue of like accountability on the part of the teachers. You want the teachers to be professional enough to be on time for work, professionally dressed, and with their full attention on the group. There's no guarantee that you'll have that with an online teacher. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to show you how to take a topic and through the power of giving an example from your life, you can extend the range of your talk, extend the length of your talk.
okay.
Uh,